Good afternoon. Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City, Kansas. The site for today's Central Division matchup between Sporting KC2 and Indy 11. A beautiful summer day in the heartland with a nice breeze flying through the stadium. Perfect conditions for this matchup between these two Central Division foes. Alongside former KC Comets and KC coaching legend Doug McClagan, I'm Carter Augustine. And Doug, these two teams have met twice before this season. Indy 11 got the better of SKC2 on both of those occasions. The home side looking for revenge and looking to snap a bit of a drought here in terms of putting points in the table.
Yeah, 5 losses on a row they've got so far. And but last time, if you remember when they met, it was an absolute cracking game. It ended up being 2-1 to Indy, but that game could have gone either way. So they're hoping probably for a performance like that again, and maybe it might break and get them 3 desperately needed points.
That was a 2-1 win for Indy 11 here back on June 20th. And we'll take a look at some of the star players here this afternoon for the visitors. Jordan Hamilton leading the line for Indy 11 today.
Yeah, the Canadian has 4 goals. He's tied at the top with Artiega. However, Hamilton has 4 goals in only 15 shots, which is amazingly efficient. I guess what Indy's got to do is get him in front of goal and put him in the position, and he'll put it away. He hasn't scored for a while, but one of those goals came way back on May 22nd when they defeated Sporting City 2 by 2-0. He needs to get back on target.
For the home side, Jake Davis in the starting 11 for SKC2 on a fantastic week for the young professional.
Yeah, look, we've said it. He has been one of the most effective players on SKC2 all year. I don't care if it's midfield, fullback. He is Mr. Consistent. 4 assists, 20 chances created, 47 tackles. But the major factor is that he has all the stuff that makes the biggest difference, all the little stuff. He works his tail off.
Well, certainly Peter Vermees agrees. Jake Davis signed a homegrown contract with SKC on Thursday. He's in the starting 11 alongside 7 other players on loan from SKC. We'll get the starting 11s for both teams, and kickoff coming up next between SKC2 and Indy 11. Welcome back to Children's Mercy Park, one of the jewels of North American soccer and the site for today's Central Division clash. SKC2 playing host to Indy 11. There is Paulo Nagamura in his 4th year at the helm of Sporting Kansas City 2. We'll take a look at his lineup here this afternoon. 7 changes from the 4-1 loss against Atlanta United 2 last weekend, as well, it's a heavy Sporting Kansas City loanee lineup. 8 loanees in the starting 11 for SKC2 this afternoon. Graham Smith, Christian Duke, Enoch Mushagalusa, and Jake Davis, the only 4 players to keep their names in the starting 11 this afternoon. And for the visitors, Indy 11, 5 changes made, a 4-1 loss away to Loudoun United on Thursday. Plenty of big hitters on the bench, the likes of Arteaga, Wild, and Ayoze moved to the bench. In come Nick Moon, Jordan Hamilton, Gershon Kofi, Patrick Segrist. And away we go. In Kansas City, Kansas, Sporting KC2 hosting Indy 11, the 3rd matchup between these 2 teams so far this year, with a 4th to come in September. So far, Indy 11 have had the better of the meetings with 2 wins from the first 2 previous matchups. It's a beautiful day here in Kansas City, right around 86 degrees and sunny at kick. A little breeze going through the stadium as well. And SKC2 moved from right to left. The blue on blue stripes matching up against the all-white of Indy 11. Alongside Doug McClagan, I'm Carter Augustine. Doug, we saw a bit of intrigue in the start of this match. Indy 11 naming a back 4 in the lineups, but that's going to be an interesting development throughout this match, how they line up on the road. Indy 11, 5 changes from that loss to Loudoun on Thursday.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be a back 3 with 2 wing backs, almost like a back 5. Obviously, the wing backs here, Moon and Segrest, are going to get high when they can once they get possession, but it's basically a 3-back with 2 wing backs, so are going to work up and down that flank, and then probably 2 forwards with 3 sitting in midfield.
They look over the top for Jordan Hamilton. He picks up the 2nd ball, but a handball called by the referee.
He's a little unfortunate there, just popped up in the air and landed on his arm. Not intentional, but it did hit his arm, no question about it. And that man there is one of the top scorers for Indy 11, but he hasn't scored for a while. And it just seems like Indy 11 has scoring by committee right now. They don't have a true goal scorer that's been putting them in, week out. So they're looking for him to get back on track, as well as others too.
Mushagalusa went down to ground there. No foul spotted. And Indy 11 continue. Again, 5 changes made. Peter Lee Vassell, the other player to come into the starting 11.
There's another one that needs to score goals, but he actually has been scoring recently. So in the last 3 or 4 games, he's scored a couple of goals. So he's at least getting into form for them. They've just got to get Hamilton and others catching up there.
Graham Smith plays it over to Amadou Dia. And Mushagalusa back to Smith. Bit of a programming note. Apologies to Graham Smith's family. We misidentified the goal scorer last time SKC took the field here last weekend. It was Danny Barbier, so apologies to the Barbier family as well. Been told Graham Smith was receiving a lot of errant text messages congratulating him for a goal he did not score.
I'm sure he didn't mind it that much. And just to get it quite clear, is we both misjudged it. So you know, maybe I didn't have my glasses on at the time, I don't know, but like I said, I'm sure he wasn't that bothered.
Well, he is still looking for that first goal with SKC2, Graham Smith. He does have a goal for Sporting KC and MLS. He retains his spot this afternoon. Just 4 players in the starting 11 that started against Atlanta United 2 last weekend. Nicky Law picking this up in midfield. He was looking for Vassell. Intercepted by Jake Davis. Now Dia under pressure. And Duke with the first time pass to Mushagalusa. He's getting chalk on his boots in front of the Indy bench.
I'm not sure if it's an interesting message sent today by Paulo Nagamura. With 8 SKC players playing, it suggests to me that they want to come out and get a win and get 3 points. It's been a while, and I'm sure a lot of these players here, while they're enjoying playing, they want to win games. And I wonder if that's a message today from Nagamura that, hey, we're coming out and we're going for this game today.
Christian Duke picking up this foul on a free kick. He's one of the 4 that kept in the starting 11 by Paulo Nagamura, along with Enoch Mushagalusa up top, Graham Smith along the back line, and Jake Davis in midfield. Pulskamp comes in goal. Dia Caberod and Caden Pierre along the back line. Van Deventer coming into midfield with Wilson Harris, Grayson Barber. 8 loanees from Sporting KC, as Doug just mentioned. Helps that SKC were in town and played.
Interesting decision there. That free kick was about the same spot as they got the goal last week, and yet they put basically Harris in the box, and that was it. So it was obvious that they were just going to come short and keep possession instead of putting it in the danger area where it is right now.
As Harris retrieves before it goes out of play, a sliding tackle from Carl Ouimet. That's a throw for SKC2.
Good solid tackle here from the centre back. Heard a lot of, hey, come on ref, but no, that's a beautiful tackle. Nice, strong tackle there from Ouimet.
Players gathering inside the box, perhaps waiting a long throw, and it does come from Dia. Harris is marked by 2 defenders for Indy 11. They're able to crowd out the forward. There's a poor touch. Rod just eludes Jordan Hamilton.
Yeah, he just dodged a little bit of a bullet there, because if he loses that, it's basically Hamilton going to goal. Admittedly, he's got about 60 yards to go, but he'll be glad that it ended up staying in front of him and he kept it.
We saw Hamilton after he tumbled to the turf just slammed the ground in frustration there. He knew he had an opportunity. So it's still with the hosts as the ball switched over to Caden Pierre. Now Grayson Barber. A lot of possession early on for SKC2. Coming to this match, 8th place at the bottom of the Central Division standings. 3 wins with 12 losses and 5 draws, and they're in a bit of a rut as of late. SKC2, 5 losses on the trot. And in fact, with the draw before that, it's been 6 games without a win. Now a turnover, and they're under pressure. Smith read that play well. Vassell getting screamed at by a couple of teammates there. Hamilton wanted the ball up top. Still with the visitors, and Ouimet dancing on the tightrope, able to keep it in play. Here's Jeremiah Gutyar. Neville Hawkshaw sliding it in behind. It's a beautiful pass, cut back to the penalty spot. Big paw from John Pulskamp, and he pounces on the rebound. Excellent save from the 20-year-old.
Wow, that's a massive save. Yet again, I think we've said that quite a few times this year from Pulskamp. That ball was penetrated in between the centre-back and the full-back. Beautiful cross and a great attempt by Hamilton to get on the board. But this is a wonderful save, and Sporting Kansas City 2 cannot afford to go down early in this game. Not the way things have been going, and like you said, in the last 5 or 6 games. So fantastic save.
John Pulskamp, of course, one of those loanees from Sporting KC. He started the first match of the season in MLS for Sporting when Tim Melia was out injured. He's in for his 7th start. 22 saves in his previous 6 matches for SKC2, John Pulskamp. And as you were talking about, Doug, a lot of them fantastic works of goalkeeping as well.
Yeah, if I remember the last game, he made 2 point-blank saves from corner kicks that kept him in the game last time. So yeah, he's come up big this year. There's no question about that.
Pulskamp's 1.83 goals against average, the best of the 4 that have suited up in between the sticks for SKC2. This is a nice move developing for Indy 11. Hamilton just dribbled the steam out of that attacking move, and what a dribbling turn that is from Mushagalusa. One touch inside and another to take it away from Ouimet. Just waiting for his reinforcements to catch up with him, Mushagalusa.
Yeah, you could see when he got the ball there was 3 Indy 11 guys sprinting to get over there. They've obviously watched him on film and they know this kid is so dangerous that they're going to have to get numbers over there and get cover from the defenders.
We scored the equalizer for SKC2 here the last time these two teams matched up, and what a goal it was as well. Almost straight from the kick after conceding the opener in that match, and SKC2 gave it to Mushagalusa. He about marched up the pitch and slammed it into the back of the net.
Yeah, and he's done that 3 or 4 times this year against opponents, where it really has just been him, completely taking on players one-on-one and just been brilliant. Needs a little bit more help up top with these other players, but he has been very good this year. Very dangerous.
So SKC2 will see if the 2 loanees alongside him can provide that help this afternoon. Harris up top and Barber on the other wing.
We have a good, big, strong centre forward in Harris, a good target man who can finish, and then a lot of pace on the other side from Barber.
And there's Dia looking for the run of Barber, just curling it to the top of the box. And it got a little touch. It'll be a throw for the home side on the far end of the pitch.
So I think the big battle today is going to be who's going to get the most possession. We've seen both teams hold the ball for a significant amount of time when they get it. If you get possession, you're allowed to get the shape you want, you're allowed to get numbers forward, and you can attack with numbers. If both teams can do that, it's going to be a really interesting game. If one team dominates, it's going to give the advantage to that team to get the numbers forward, to create opportunities. And then the big thing is, if you finish your opportunities.
Patient build-up from SKC2 as Harris receives it from Dia. Cross at the penalty spot, headed away by Nick Moon. It's a nice layoff, and how about the sliding pass? That is exceptional. On the slide to deliver that ball to Jordan Hamilton.
Oh, a tremendous ball. I don't think I could do that with my 9-9. It landed on the turf, skidded back and came straight to Hamilton's feet. That is an absolutely gorgeous ball.
That is sensational from Jeremiah Gutyart. Had to get there ahead of an SKC2 player. He just measured that so brilliantly. There's one back there with Dia's deft header into the path of Graham Smith. And the 2 Highlands Ranch, Colorado natives on the left side of the SKC2 defense. Good partnership. We're able to see away that attack. Ouimet heads it forward. It's a clever first touch, and it's even better on the second, but well read by Kaveh Rod. All the way over to Patrick Segrist. And Nick Moon has continued from the right to the middle of the pitch.
I was just going to say, that's your 2 wing backs there within maybe 5 to 8 yards of each other.
Hamilton stands it up. It's a swing and a miss from Pierre, and Hackshaw can get onto it. He cuts it across the 6-yard box. Hamilton the only one there.
Yeah, Pierre's got to be careful there. It's the thing that's been getting Sport in Kansas City too is they've been making small little errors in games, and at this level, the experience of players they're playing against, you make those errors, they make you pay for it. And he's lucky to dodge another little bullet there where he went to clear it, completely mishit it. Fortunately for Sport in Kansas City 2, nothing came of it.
Indy 11 coming into this match in the playoff spaces in the Central Division, 4th place with 22 points. They're 6 wins, 8 losses, and 4 draws. But a -7 goal difference for Indy 11. They've really struggled to score goals throughout this season. And they're level on points with 2 other teams FC Tulsa and OKC Energy. OKC play later on today. Let's look at this foul.
Yeah, just a clumsy foul. I mean, not a bad foul, just he stopped his run and Christian Duke just ran over the back of him. It's funny to say that they're coming in and they're in the playoff picture, but they're not coming in on fire. They seem to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. I guess if it all goes the way it's supposed to do, they're supposed to win today, but they came off a really great performance against Oklahoma, OKC, and then the next game, they're losing 4-1 to Loudoun, so they're very inconsistent, but the good thing is, it's so close in this division that they are right sitting in there, I think, in 4th place right now.
Indeed, in their last 6 matches, it's been alternating between wins and losses. So as Doug mentioned, by that pattern, they should be due for a win here this afternoon. Right in the mix. They've played a game more than FC Tulsa and a game less than OKC Energy. It's getting to the nitty-gritty part of the season. Desperate for points. Dia goes through the legs. He's cast aside by Nick Moon, and the referee says nothing wrong there.
Well, there was a definite push. I think it was just outside the box, but the ref says nothing to it. So if he's going to say that on this, then he's going to have to let a lot play, because that's, I mean, that's good defensive work there if you were playing American football. Patrick Mahomes is watching, he might say, hey, come on, get on my line, help me out here.
So errant pass from Dia, and it's well read, intercepted by Kofi. Now Nick Moon with plenty of space on the near side of the pitch. He ignores the overlap, goes inside. Vassell trying to spin around, and he's unable. So he drops it back. Gutyar finds Law in space. Rod's header can't clear the area. It's chipped back to Hamilton. He slams his header wide. A decent move from the visitors.
Yeah, good effort there. I think it was Hamilton with a header that did not miss by much. That's a beautiful ball in. And then a good return ball back in, and just not too far off. But that all came, and Sporting Kansas City 2's got to be aware that they're in a low block. They just cannot get split. Every opportunity that Indy 11 has had so far is when they've penetrated a ball in between the left forward or left midfield, and that time it was the left midfield and left back. And once you split and get the defense turned, that's where you're going to have problems. And that's happened twice now. They've got to be aware of it. If they're going to defend in a low block, they've got to tuck in and not allow penetration through their lines.
Indy looking over the top, and Kabe Rod able to head it back to the goalkeeper.
Hamilton's looking at his goalie and saying, hey, I wasn't even ready. Why are you knocking that forward? It wasn't a bad ball, actually, but like I said, Hamilton had no idea it was coming, so couldn't really react in time. So again, the build-up, the slow possession here by Sporting Kansas City is not a bad thing. Like I said, it allows you to get your numbers forward, and then you can attack with numbers, which India's been allowed to do. If you've seen, Seacrest and Moon have been able to get high up this field on several occasions.
Hamilton gets it wide right from Moon, and now he'll drop it off to Law. Gutyar. It's the visitors with everybody camped inside the attacking half. Hackshaw dribbles it around Davis. Continues his run forward. It's poked into Moon. A bit of a lazy touch there from the right wing back.
Yeah, he just lost the hold of it. So you can penetrate with passes, and you can do what Hackshaw just did there, penetrate with the dribble. Once you get through that line, somebody's got to come and close you down, and usually when you come, you leave someone alone, and that opens up a chance for someone. That time it was Moon, but his touch let him down.
Around the corner for Harris, and called offside. That was tight.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball in. He curved that ball into the path of Harris. Harris may be offside by half of his body, was not far off. If they get that timing right, that is a beautiful ball.
Just his 6th start, Wilson Harris on the season.
Look to get down the side of their fullback step to Nicky.
Oh, foul spotted. Christian Duke and Jeremiah Gutyar once again clashing in midfield. Ball was rolling, so we'll have to go back to the spot of the foul. Nicky Law will restart things for Indy 11. They've been pretty good on the road so far this season, Indy 11. 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. That's 14 points of their 22. Jordan Hamilton is felled, and this could be a chance to perhaps move some players up into the penalty area.
Looks like Carl Wiemet is coming up, the goal scorer from last week. Scored a beautiful header from a corner to get the only goal. Admittedly, they lost 4-1 and probably didn't mean that much, but he is very dangerous inside that box.
He's piling forward. So too AJ Cochran, Neville Hackshaw.
Good sport in Kansas City too. They're not exactly the tallest team today. And if you look at the lineup there, Indy 11 looks a little bit taller than the boys in blue, so gives them a slight advantage. Not with a ball like that though.
Into the near post, and that was poor service, which is a bit unexpected from the quality of Nicky Law.
Yeah, I was just going to say before that, you got Wiemet in the box, and you've got nobody better than Nicky Law to knock the ball in, and then I'm glad I didn't say it because the final product was not good there by Law.
Law scored the opener on June 20th here. Last time these two teams met.
Yeah, if you remember, it was a beautiful goal too. And one of the major factors today is Wild is not in the starting lineup. He got the assist for that goal, and it was a beautiful goal. And he also got the game winner. And yet, he's sitting on the bench today.
Law picks it up in the center circle and delivers it over to Moon. Good shape on that cross, but Smith rises high and flicks it out of play with a nice header.
Yeah, Nick Moon's going to play a big part in this game. I'm not 100% sure, to be quite honest, what his position is, because I think he's a forward. And so when you put someone that's got that attacking mentality, you know he's going to go forward. He might have to work a little bit more on his defense, but he's got that willingness just to go forward whenever he can, and he can deliver a ball into the box. So I think he's going to be a major factor in this game down the flank today.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Over the top for Wilson Harris. He's battling it out with Wiemet. And an emphatic point from our referee, Greg Topcup, for a goal kick.
Yeah, and that's not a bad ball, that big diagonal. We've seen Rod play it already. The reason is they've got 3 at the back, and so when you're playing 3 at the back, they usually play pretty much tight. So that space is going to be available on the flanks. So that ball over the right back or left back into space is going to get an opportunity for the right or left wing, depending on what side it is, for Sporting Kansas City 2 to get in. So not a bad idea there at all.
Harris is in for the first time over the last 3 matches. He lays it off for Barber, who extends an apologetic hand as he tried to deliver it to Davis.
Yeah, a little sloppy pass, and unfortunately when you lose the pass, you're going to probably defend for another couple minutes now, because both teams are quite happy to keep possession, knock the ball around, hoping to find those gaps to penetrate.
Just over halfway through this first half, still scoreless between SKC 2 and Indy 11. John Polskamp with a big save. early on in this match. That's the biggest event that's occurred so far. It is a hot one, 88 degrees now. It's sunny.
I think we've seen a lot of games, Sporting Kansas City 2 like this, where Sporting Kansas 2 is in this game. There's no question about it. They're going to create opportunities. Okay, the big thing that's happened is they've made little mistakes. The opposition has made them pay for it. And in the end, they end up losing the games. And so this is kind of similar to the last game. It was so close. And then if something happens, it opens up. Then obviously the result last time was 4-1, I think. And didn't look good, but it was close all the way until that first goal went in.
This is clipped over the top, and the offside flag comes up. An acrobatic attempt from Peter Lee Vassell, but he was offside.
Yeah, it was a beautiful attempt there. Take it off the chest and a lovely bicycle kick. Didn't miss by much, but like you said, he's standing in an offside position, so it would have been nice to see, but it would not have counted.
Just missed the timing there, Vassell, as he popped over the top. 23-year-olds getting just his 5th start of the season, Vassell. He's one of those that's getting a chance this afternoon with some of the regulars on the bench. Of course, they just played Thursday. Now Harris plays it around the corner for Mushagalusa, but that was much too heavy, and Jordan Farr circle it into his own 6-yard box, pick it up, and dish it out to Gutyar.
You mentioned Vassell, but he's another one that's scored a couple of goals. They've got a lot of players on this team that have scored a couple of goals, but 4's the highest, and then there's a couple 4s, and then there's like 3 or 4 2s. It really needs someone to be 6 or 7, 8 to make a difference, because there is a lot of talent on this team. There's no question about it. And really the situation where they're at, you know, you could say with the talent they have, they possibly should be in a better position than they are right now, but they've just got to find the back of the net more consistent, I think.
Moon just left it behind Law, and Dia read it well. Jake Davis getting a touch. He's been at right back the past couple of games, Jake Davis, but he's into midfield this afternoon. Part of that versatility Peter Vermees was talking about when Sporting Kansas City signed Jake Davis to a homegrown contract last Thursday, becoming the 19th player in club history to sign a homegrown contract. Here he is on the ball. He's trying to play it in behind. Just didn't quite line it up with Mushagalusa there, but a bright prospect. And he signed a homegrown contract with the MLS side on Thursday. What a week for Jake Davis.
Yeah, when you're a player, you can play anywhere, and that was a good ball there. Just a little bit too much weight on the pass, and the goalkeeper, be honest to him, was very good. Jordan Farr getting off his line to read that ball. But yeah, he's been terrific all year, and he's, whether it's, like I said, in the early right back or midfield, that's the stuff he does. He'll close people down. He does all that nasty, hard work, and sometimes you don't notice it. But you know what, the coaches do.
He leads the team with 4 assists as well, Jake Davis. Peter Vermees was heralding that versatility that Doug was just talking about. Now a burst of pace from Nick Moon, and he's lost Mushagalusa. A bit carried away with the step over and a bit carried away with the tackle as well.
Yeah, Rod's asking for a card then, and it wouldn't shock me if it was, because the tackle wasn't that bad, but it was two-footed. If you watch, he took off from both feet. And most people that take off with 2 feet get a yellow card, so he might have dodged one there, even though it was fairly harmless. But I think we saw that a little bit with the SKC game yesterday, at least from what I thought. Like, the foot was high, but he pulled his foot out, and I don't even know if he made contact, and he got a red card. So you never know what the referee's going to do, but probably looked worse than it was right there.
Certainly, like you said, when you lunge in with the 2 feet, you can leave it up to the opinion of the referee, and perhaps Moon just a bit lucky. Gutyar finds Kofi. Just a few days shy of his 30th birthday, Gershon Kofi turns 30 on Wednesday. there's some miscommunication and attack for Indy, and it's an easy turnover gathered by Graham Smith.
You're just missing a little bit of quality on the part of Indy 11, which I know if Mr. Wild was on the field, they may have that quality. That final pass so far, other than the one chance that was given to Hamilton, that last pass has not been good.
Mushkalusha just shaping up for the curler, and he will use that as a sighter towards goal. And the referee will blow the whistle. It'll be a drinks break, a hydration break, as the two teams will go get water and instructions from their respective benches, and Mushkalusha maybe will go and set his sights based on this effort on goal.
Yeah, it's not a bad effort. We've seen this all year, and you know Nagamura wants him to do this, is get in aggressively, cut inside, and he loves to bend that ball up to that top left-hand corner of the goalkeeper. This time, he just didn't have enough control on it, and it was way high. But like I said, he's given the freedom to go in and do that, because we've seen him crush the crossbar a couple of times this year.
Well, August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the Supporter of the Week.
Well, one of the problems I think Sporting Kansas City 2 has been facing in recent games is that high pressure, and they've made some bad turnovers that have really hurt them. And it could be the weather, but it could also be the fact that they've had a lot of games in the last few days as Indy 11, but the pressure is not there today. They're sitting off, and they're quite happy letting Sporting Kansas City 2 play out of the back. That is nice for Sporting Kansas City 2, because the pressure, like I said, has hurt them recently. So I don't know if that tactic's going to change later on in the game when they bring on some fresher legs, but it's a little bit different to what we've been seeing in the last 2 or 3 games, where the opposition has been in the face of the back four of Sporting Kansas City 2 and causing them some problems.
Max Rogers in charge of Indy 11. Sir Martin Rennie was let go earlier on this season. And he does have some weapons on the bench, as Doug just mentioned. The likes of Gordon Wild, of course, who's had a fantastic 2 matches already this season against SKC2, but some rotation from the man in charge for this afternoon, and you can understand why, having just played on Thursday.
Yeah, and like I said, they're in the playoff mix too, so you just can't play the same lineup game after game. If you've got the depth, which I honestly believe Indy 11 is one of those teams that does have the depth, if you have that, it will come in handy towards the end of the season, and that's what we're getting close to right now, because games are starting to be absolutely huge. And if they could pull out a win today, they're going to put themselves possibly in 3rd place after this game, depending on other games. Now, like you said earlier, Birmingham, I think, plays Tulsa. You might put your money on Birmingham there. Oklahoma is playing Louisville. My money would go on Louisville there. And then Atlanta United, too, is playing Pittsburgh. So those are all games that those 3 within this division could lose. So a win today from Indy 11 could be absolutely huge.
And SKC2 are on the bottom looking up, but this is the 2nd match of a 5-game homestand. And could be a chance perhaps for Sporting to try and move up the table as well. You would think if they are to do so, it's got to be now during this homestand.
Yeah, it has to be now. They're going to have to go for a 4-game, 5-game winning streak, and if they did, they could be in the playoff picture. It's a tall order to ask, because they've lost the last 5, but anything is possible in this division. All teams are very, I mean, they're sitting at 8th, but they're in games all the time. It's not like they're getting absolutely killed by everybody. So there is that opportunity, but like you say, it's got to start today, I think.
So the drinks break is over. Teams hydrated and with fresh instructions from their managers. We are into the final 10 or so minutes of normal time in this first half. Dia receives the pass from Smith. He's looking for Harris, left it a bit short. Gutjahr intercepts and is fouled.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It was a beautiful ball looking for Harris, but he just didn't have enough weight on it. So Unfortunately, the defender stepped across. Good defending there from Gujar to read the pass and to cut it off.
It's the first game for Amadou Dia since the last time SKC2 won. He's missed this 6-match winless streak. Dia played back on July the 10th when SKC2 went away from home, won against Atlanta United 2. That's the last time they've picked up all 3 points.
Maybe he's the man that's going to get it back on track then. They need someone.
Davis sets it and delivers. Kofi, a brave header to block that cross. Kofi was turned around complaining to the ref and just managed to turn his head around in time and see the ball right coming at him.
Sometimes you got to keep your eye on the ball all the time, not just sometimes.
That was great. You could hear him go, "Hey, ref," and then turn around and the ball was right on him.
Yeah, then he was like, oh never mind, ref, I got it, I got it.
He's back with the visitors. Both teams have kind of feeling each other out. Indeed, it's 50% possession. Split evenly here as we're into the final 10 minutes now.
And like we said, it's a little low tempo, really. The tempo is just kind of slow, trying to figure out each other. It's like a chess game right now. Figuring out where there might be some weaknesses, where they can attack and take advantage of them. But it's not the high, intense game that we're used to seeing Indy 11 come out and play.
Like you said, maybe this sun and the weather has something to do with it. We'll see if that develops later on in the match. Clipped over the top and just too heavy.
Yeah, it's a good idea though, and that's something Sporting Kansas City 2 has got to watch. They love sending the wing backs. So for example, Coffey will come back and Segrest will go forward. So just do a little switch in that vertical switch in midfield. That time it was Moon and Law. And if you're not aware and you're not communicating between the fullback and the midfielder, you lose them for a couple of yards and that can cause problems. Fortunately for him this time, the ball was a little too heavy and ran out for a goal kick.
This time, Indy do press high and they're able to force a mistake in the back. So they regain control of the ball. Kofi trying to swivel around Jake Davis.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is what I like about Jake Davis. Is he doesn't like losing. He just worked his tail off to put pressure on Kofi there. And Kofi lays the ball off. Moon receives it and no one's within him 5 yards. So he's not happy. And I don't know what he said, but it wasn't very nice to whichever defender it was.
As a result, Indy 11 can come down the other side. Excellent defending, Kaveh Rod. Stood tall with the challenge on Patrick Segrest.
Yeah, it could be extremely dangerous there, but good patience on defense. And he made a slight mistake and he took the ball away from him.
Numbers back for Indy 11, but Harris makes a good run and he's picked out by Barber. Harris fakes it on his right, creating space for the left. And he goes for the curler. Can't quite find that back post.
Yeah, he really had to because he didn't really have a lot of support. Barber was at the top of the box, but I don't think he could find him. I think he was blocked off. So in the end, he looked up and he's like, well, I'm going to have to do this myself. And it's not a bad effort. You can see what he's trying to do, but the ball was pushed a little bit too far behind him. There's no way he was going to get around that all the way to get it in the far post.
Young Player of the Year last season in the USL Championship, which led to him signing a homegrown contract last fall with Sporting Kansas City in MLS. Hasn't quite hit the heights of the past 2 seasons with SKC2. This year, Wilson Harris, it's been more of a spot start here and there for the talented young striker.
Yeah, it's tough to come in and, you know, he's training with the big boys on the first team, but when you come in, again, you haven't been training with these guys all week for how many months of that, so it's hard to know exactly what every player is looking to do for you. So it's a tough role to come in, and he's handled it pretty well. He's created chances, he's been busy up front, but it just hasn't fallen his way a lot for SKC2 this year.
Shouts of time for Amadou Dia there. Now Now Javen Van de Venter just dribbling into some trouble, and he's managed to bail himself out.
He did very well to recover, else that could have been a dangerous turnover there in the center of midfield, but he lost it, he fought back, and he got it back under possession.
How about the strength and the balance from Wilson Harris? Got the ball from Dia. Tried to drop it back from Ushagalusa, and it was intercepted by Ouimet. There are some of those talents inside the area from that young man, Harris. Under immense pressure there, he was able to keep it. Now it's with Davis. Caden Pierre just acres of space on the far side. He fakes the cross, has space now, whips it into the back post! Sublime delivery from Caden Pierre. Put on a plate for Wilson Harris, who gobbles it up. 1-0 SKC2.
Two brilliant plays there. First of all, the cross is an absolute beaut. In between the back line and the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper cannot do anything. But I love the runner, Wilson. He knew it was coming in. He peeled away to the far post and just followed in there. And that is not an easy finish, don't get me wrong, but that's a tap-in for him. And it is a simple, beautiful goal, simply from a fantastic delivery.
Caden Pierre. Well, when that move was developing, Doug, there was so much space for Pierre on the right. But how about the heads-up play from the young right back? Not to immediately play it, and that little fake really fooled Gershon Kofi and created some space to deliver the cross.
Yeah, and the cross was, like I said, in between the back line and the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers, for one of those, you can't come out. It wasn't his to come, and it's just sitting in between the two, and it's a tap-in. But yeah, great. And that space probably, I'd like to go back and see it, but probably came from the fact that the wing-back was probably high up the field, and with only 3 at the back, that's where you find your space, and that's where you can take advantage of this formation from Indy 11. But a fantastic ball in, and what a finish. Just talking about Harris too.
Pierre just blocked that cross. It'll be out for a corner. It's his 2nd assist of the season, Caden Pierre. 2nd goal for Wilson Harris. And in fact, it's 2 goals in 2 games as he scored his last time out for SKC2, Harris. Now it's a corner to come. Ooh, that dribbles through a few players. Luckily for SKC2, no one was there. Gudyar! Oh, that's a wonderful effort. Did it take a deflection, or was it saved by Pulskamp?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. It was definitely close. I mean, it could have been either one or two. Let's have a look.
Must have been Van de Venter. Tipped it away. Next corner is whipped in and right on the hands of Pulskamp. That was a decent strike from Gutyar.
Yeah, and that's needed by Pulskamp just to catch the ball, lay down. They have got 3 plus stoppage time to get into the half leading. They do not want to give up this lead right now. That is top quality keeping. Hold it, fall to the ground, take some seconds off the clock. Let's get into the half 1 up.
If you ever watch a match with John Pulskamp in between the sticks, you will hear him. He is a presence in his goal box. And he was saying just what you were there, Doug. 5 more minutes till halftime. Let's hold on. He's a young leader, the 20-year-olds. And the SKC staff really like what he brings, not only as a shot stopper, and you saw him claim the cross there, but that leadership in between the sticks as well.
Yeah, you can always hear him. Sometimes it's not the cleanest of things you want to hear, but it is out on the song.
Ready on the audio.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you hear his voice. He tells his defense what he wants, and as soon as that ball comes in, he says it again, and he either dominates his box or he tells his defenders to get it the heck out of here.
Love that shot of Nagamura watching over his team, who have a lead as we head into the final 2 minutes.
Now here's a stat I don't want to jinx them, but when was the last time they were ahead coming into the half, and what was the result after it? Because I have no idea, but I would guess it's been a long, long time.
Only 2 matches this season. SKC2 have led at halftime as we're here in the 21st game of the season. Not very used to this position in 2021, SKC2. Into the corner. And if anyone's going to chase a hopeless cause, it's Jake Davis, but the referee spotted a foul first, and so he'll pull it back for a free kick.
Yeah, it's good play by the referee, because Davis was not going to get there first. Farr was going to beat him to it, because a little bit too much played on the pass, and Mushagaluza was just hit as he released the ball, so soft foul, but you call it because there was no advantage. Like I said, Davis wasn't going to get the ball.
Well, Doug, the last time they led at halftime was the last time they won. SKC2 on the road at Atlanta United back on July the 10th.
Well, there you go. Let's see if they can add to that one then.
They have won both games this year that they have been leading at halftime, SKC2. Just a few seconds before the minutes go up on the board, and it'll be 3 minutes added at the end of this first half.
Well, if they could keep the ball for 3 minutes, that would be brilliant.
Smith finds Mushagaluza in a pocket of space. The first touch just kind of popped up on him, and that's what allowed a couple of defenders to get in and wrestle it away.
Yeah, it's a great ball in by Smith too, because they got it back now.
One by Mushagaluza, who worked hard, and Davis turns in disgust with himself. That pass too heavy.
Yeah, so a great ball in by Smith, because Mushagaluza came off the top line to come back it. That's a great penetrating pass, but like you said, Enoch's first touch let him down big time. But he won that ball back immediately, which is always good to see. Unfortunately, Davis's pass was a little too heavy.
It's a bit uncharacteristic for Mushagaluza there on that touch. He thought he could just turn and have a run at defenders. Who've seen that so often this season. Header high into the sky from Smith, and a few battles in the air. It finally drops to Vassell. Now Davis trying to clip it in behind, hack shot. That's a wonderful defensive read from the veteran.
Yeah, if that would have gone through, there would have been a lot of complaints from Indy 11, because I think Pierre shoved over the defender to get the ball, but unfortunately it didn't occur, so we won't have any arguments with the coaches.
About halfway through the 3 minimum minutes added on at the end of this first half. That's a bit too heavy, and Segrist can't keep it in play. Things for both managers to think about at halftime. Just the one shot on target for SKC2, but they converted 2 shots on goal from Indy 11. A wonderful save from John Poolskamp.
I think the biggest differences in the squad coming into halftime is, I think Indy does have a little bit more tricks that they can bring out of their hat. Obviously Wild and Arteaga, just to name a couple that can come on and absolutely change this game. Again, they all usually play high pressure, and we've not seen that today, so that's something we could see second half, although like you said, it is a very, very warm day.
Pierre gets it back from Rod.
Yeah, that's a good decision for Rod, just to turn around and keep the ball, and like I said, get into halftime. Yep, we don't need a second right now. You just need to make sure that halftime whistle goes and it's sitting at 1-0, and then we can go have a little talk about what we need to do second half.
Final seconds just about ticking off the clock here at the end of the first half, and the referee brings a close to the first 45 minutes. SKC2 lead through Wilson Harris's goal on a lovely cross from Caden Pierre. Doug McClagan, Shirley Powell Nagamura happy with this first half effort from his boys.
Oh, he's got to be over the moon. Absolutely. Like you said, it's only the second time this has happened this year, so he's got to be really happy, but he's also got to key him in and tell him it's going to be a tough 45 minutes coming up to get the win here.
A KG first 45 minutes in the books. With 45 minutes to come, the points very much still in the balance. SKC2 lead through Wilson Harris's goal. 1-0 at the break. We'll be right back to break it all down from Kansas City.
Sporting KC might have a little revenge on their minds tonight as well, considering the loss they suffered at home to FC Dallas back on the 31st of July.
Sporting Kansas City, excellent on the road over the past 2 seasons, but FC Dallas, especially right now as they're playing some really good soccer, and at home, they're always dangerous. It's a very tough place to go down there in that heat as well. Big game here tonight.
I do know that every game, the one thing you have to bring is you have to bring the work, the battle, the fight. And that's what this game needs first and foremost. It needs that. We have the other. I'm not saying we don't have that other one, but sometimes at all teams, they don't bring it right away or they wait. This is a game where from the opening whistle, we've got to come to fight and battle, and all the other stuff that we have is all there. Okay? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Team, 1, 2, 3. Team.
Left-hand side for Gotti Kinda here. He goes to ground, and he picks up the foul just outside of the penalty area. He doesn't usually take corners. He takes free kicks when he's trying to have an effort on goal. And Polito just scoots it wide of the target. Shallowy with a nice turn. Now to Gotti Kinda coming up that left-hand side. Through for Polito. Polito! What a finish! Sporting wanted a fast start in Dallas, and they've got one. Alan Polito. Pereira drives it in. And it's headed toward the back post, but wide of the target by Hedges. And halftime is upon us. Sporting KC taking the lead in the 12th minute.
Your rest. Don't rush the game in that moment. Relax. We got to manage those situations during the course of the game, right? We still play. We're still trying to, 0-0 second half. Be ready for the game. Let's go, guys.
In the Western Conference, if Sporting KC can grab another away win, they put themselves back in the driver's seat. Second half is underway in Frisco, Texas. Back to Pepe. Through to Pomacall. Pomacall stays on his feet, and this one hits the underside of the crossbar, headed away by Elie. And for Shallowy. Shallowy blasts it home. The Hungarian assassin, absolutely predatory. And now we have the final whistle. The Road Warriors continue their path of destruction.
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Tees it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal! And Lou City double their money! And how sweet the sound in Lynn Family Stadium!
Halftime at Children's Mercy Park. Sporting KC 2 lead over Indy 11 by 1-0. Thanks to Wilson Harris nabbing his second goal of the season. And we'll take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes. It's been two teams kind of feeling each other out on a hot day, but Indy 11 with the first chance of the match.
Yeah, Indy splitting the fullbacks. That's when there's been problems. Good attempt there and a fantastic save by Volskamp.
He gets congratulated by Jordan Hamilton, in fact. Stuck out a big left hand and kept that out of goal. Meanwhile, another chance for Hamilton.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hamilton, the ball was, when he received it right in front of the front post, really hard to score. And there, that's a beautiful attempt, but it is offside, so it would not have counted, but it's always nice to watch a little bicycle, isn't it?
Seen Gutyar with some good deliveries for Indy 11. The goal came through Wilson Harris.
Yeah, you're talking about good deliveries. There's one right there. Right on key, and what finish by Harris. It's the difference in the game right now, 1-0.
40th minute goal for Wilson Harris. As just before halftime, Gutyar with a strike from range took the deflection narrowly over the crossbar of John Pulscamp's goal. Here are the stats. Just a one shot on target officially for both sides, and pretty even in terms of possession as well. Still, it appears very even in this match, Doug.
Yeah, both sides have had the ball at certain times during the game. Obviously chances have been created, but one chance for Sporting, back of the net. Okay, Indy has had a couple half chances, great save by Pulskamp, but yeah, it's been pretty even the whole game, as it was the last time these two met.
That's KC2, currently in 8th place in the Central Division, but this is the second match of a 5-match homestand, and as you look there, another one on the back of that. A lot of games in Kansas City coming up for Sporting KC2.
Yeah, a lot of games, and like you said, you know, they get a win today.
Never know.
You just never know in this game, so maybe it could be the start of something big right now.
Certainly still so much work to do in this match for Sporting KC2. 5 losses on the trot, 6 games without a win. But they have the lead, 1-0 over Indy 11 at halftime. Let's take a look around the league in the USL Championship. Well, this is not good news if you're an Indy 11 fan watching FC Tulsa with a lead on the road at Birmingham at halftime.
Yeah, that would push them possibly up to 3rd. And if Indy 11 doesn't get a result here, that would be a massive victory for Tulsa, who, like you said, also has a game in hand. So very, very interesting there.
OKC Energy just about to kick off with Louisville City. That's another one to watch in the playoff races. It's all heating up in the playoffs in the Central Division, and it's a hot one here in Kansas City. Sporting KC2 lead 1-0 over Indy 11. Second half to come. These two teams battling it out at Children's Mercy Park. Welcome back to Children's Mercy Park. SKC2 lead over Indy 11 by 1-0. Second half just about ready to kick off in Kansas City. Two teams have switched sides and are about ready. Looks there's no substitutions, and to the East's best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview September the 7th at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN2. Just a bit of a false start there from the referee. And now we're back underway from Children's Mercy Park, as Indy 11 now move from right to left in their all-whites in the second half. Joined by Doug McLagan, I'm Carter Augustine. Sporting KC2 leading through a 40th minute goal from Wilson Harris. What do you think the words in the halftime team talks were for both of these respective coaches, Doug?
Well, for Indy, don't know, I'm kind of looking here to see if there's any change of formation. Obviously, they've got to bring their game and probably a little bit more intensely, I think. That's probably the biggest thing for them, is to get in the face of Sporting Kansas City 2, force errors. For Sporting Kansas City 2, they've got to continue playing. They can't sit back and defend this. If they do that, they're just going to bring on Indy 11 on top of them, and that's not good, and that's not good by turnover to here.
Hamilton wins it away from Van de Venter, charging forward. Oh, that's cross is blocked by a teammate. Excuse me, that clearance blocked by a teammate, and so it'll be a corner for Indy 11.
Yeah, he got extremely lucky there. That's Hamilton's been a little bit cute there, but that could end up landing anywhere. Fortunately, I think, yeah, fortunately it went for a corner kick, because it could have landed at Law's feet for a tap-in. Not a good start there for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Low delivery on the cross. It's straight to Hackshot, whose header just wasn't. Didn't get enough purchase on that header, Hackshaw, and then a foul called on the second ball.
Yeah, I think he was always climbing just to get on it, because it looked like it was almost climbing over his head, but he did well to get on it, but he couldn't get any power. And then I think Weeman, yeah, he's really struggling to get on top of it. And then there's just a shove by Weeman. Yeah, really wasn't that bad, but yeah, could have done bringing a ladder with him and get up a little bit quicker.
Decent looking play to carve it out for Hackshot. Vossel tried to put it through the legs of Rod, and Rod was not fooled by that trickery.
Here's what we talked about earlier, is turnovers. That's the third turnover in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And that's what's killed them in the past, turnovers, and then the opposition has taken advantage of it. We've seen 3 early turnovers. They cannot continue doing that, else it's going to be a long 45 minutes.
Delicious delivery from Davis. Mushagalusa cutting it on to the left. He goes for the near post. Venom in the strike, and it's matched by Jordan Farr, his first save of the match.
Yeah, he cut it to his left, and I thought it looked like he kind of lost control a little bit, but then he got that shot off, and I think it shocked the keeper that was coming. That's a beautiful ball by Davis. And when he cut in here, I thought he pushed it a little bit too far, and it's not coming, and then all of a sudden he pulls it and almost caught Jordan Farr at the near post there.
Segrist retreating there, perhaps taking away that far post, and Mushagalusa whipped it into the near corner, ensuing from Davis. Rod nods it back to Smith, and just a miscommunication, tried to leave it for Mushagalusa. Hacked out of play by Vossel.
Yeah, been a good idea, but they just were not on the same page. If Mushagalusa knew it was coming, maybe he would be running in and hitting that one, but I don't think he knew what Smith was doing.
Jordan Farr, the 26-year-old, called into action for the first time. So one smart save apiece for the goalkeepers. Pierre had the assist to the Harris goal. This is kept in play by Mushagalusa, hugging the end line, and now gets the cross blocked by Hackshot.
Great job by Hackshaw there, because I was just going to say that is a mismatch. When you've got Mushagalusa in a one-on-one situation out on the flanks, that is not good for a fullback. So give credit there to Nabil Hackshaw. He did very well to stay in his feet, stay patient, and block that cross.
Another corner, seconds of the second half already for SKC2. And in the air from Davis, and well, the referee saw a foul before the ball even got into the area.
Yeah, Rod's lying on the floor, and he got a foul called against him, so not sure exactly what he was doing, but maybe we'll see here. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I don't think Rod did anything wrong. If anything, it would be the defender who was fouling there, but I would just said no foul whatsoever. They just came together and they fell down.
Well, Gordon Wild is appearing like he's getting ready to come onto the pitch for Indy 11.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he is...
Oh, turnover in the back. This could be a chance for the visitors. Slapped in at the near post, and on the rebound, it's poked home by Hamilton. A mistake in the back for SKC2. Indy 11 take full advantage, and Jordan Hamilton levels the score 1-1.
Well, 5 minutes into the second half, that's the fourth turnover. Now, is that because of bad play, or is it because of the pressure from Indy, which we've not seen the whole half? I mean, it is a bad play, but it's also good pressure by Indy. And that's what they normally come out and start the game, is high pressure in your face. We've not seen it for 45 minutes, and in the first 5 minutes of the second half, we've seen it, and there's been 4 turnovers. And that one, again, like I've said, when they turn over, they're playing against players with experience that, you know, you can't do it 4 times in 5 minutes and expect to come out of it lucky. I mean, they've paid for it there, and now it's back to 1-1. And I know, for one, Mr. Postkamp was not very happy with that, and I'm sure Mr. Nagamura wasn't either.
Jordan Hamilton with his 5th goal of the season. That leads the team.
So here's the question sometimes. I mean, the regular Sporting Kansas City play out of the back, and that's what Sporting Kansas City 2 are asked to do. It's a risk reward, you know. If you break the lines, your reward is you get to go up and you get to attack them because they've thrown numbers at you. But the risk is if you turn it over and it ends in the back of the net, like we've seen too many times this season. It's just a big risk to take, and we have a little saying back home: when in doubt, just pull it out. Just put it out, put a welly through it and knock it 50 yards down the field. And maybe early in the second half, that might have been a better idea than trying to play out of the back every time.
It was picked off the foot of Amadou Dia, and as it popped to Nicky Law, just a hint perhaps of offside as it was tackled away by another player. Law was right on the line with Graham Smith. The flag did not go up. And Jordan Hamilton, who's now in the area, just got ahead to that. Come down to the near side and offside now. And yeah, let's take another look at the goal scored by Jordan Hamilton and the turnover leading to the goal.
Yeah, so options are, he obviously was cut off by the forward, so that is good pressure by Indy 11. But you know, sometimes, like I said, when in doubt, put it out. Knock it 50 yards down the field. It could be a breakaway for Mushagalusa. But he tried to get out of it using his skill, got caught, and Indy 11 made him pay for it.
Just confirmation of a good decision as well from the refereeing crew. Looked like after that deflection, Law was just onside. Just in front of Graham Smith. Hamilton gets his first goal since July the 8th against Atlanta United 2.
So we're back to square one now, and obviously the momentum a little bit is with Indy 11, coming out and scoring in the first 5 minutes.
Mushagalusa just spinning around there on the touch. Couldn't quite track it down to keep it in play. Van Deventer read that well. He steps in front of Hamilton, the youngster. Just one of 3 players not on loan from Sporting KC, Van Deventer. And the 17-year-old making his 3rd start of the season. The other 2 were way back at the beginning of the season. Doug with his last start coming against Indy 11 back on May 22nd.
He's done well. I mean, he's not been perfect. He's turned the ball over a couple of times, but that, you know, he's 17 years old. The first time he did turn it over, he got it back immediately, so you got to give him credit there. So good experience for the young man. He's playing with, like I said, 8 Sporting Kansas City players, so it's a fantastic experience for him, and he'll just get better and better.
He's one of 7 academy products in the starting 11 this afternoon for SKC2. And Christian Duke possibly be called an 8th product as well. It was a different setup back when he was in the youth ranks for, at the time, the Wizards. But I think SKC will definitely claim Christian Duke. So 8 players that have come up through the academy system. Segrist pokes it inside for Vassell. Looked like he could go to goal there, Vassell, and he instead drops it back off.
Yeah, he was actually the other side of Davis. Davis was not goal side, but maybe he was unaware where Davis was.
Certainly appeared so. His team have held on to the ball and are patiently building now down the left side. Hackshaw. Hackshaw was away with Trinidad and Tobago during the summer for some World Cup qualifying. Unfortunately for he and the Soccer Warriors, they were unable to book their ticket into the octagonal.
So Indy 11 just being patient, knocking the ball around, waiting for that opportunity. There's a one-on-one outside.
Dia defending, it's cut back to the edge of the box. Slide tackle from Davis. Then he prods it out to Mushagalusa.
Yeah, it was a great layback by Moon, but I don't think Guchar was ready for it.
Well, a hand up from Hamilton, but that's not going to spare his name from being written down on the yellow card. He's in the score sheet, now he's in the bookings as well. Jordan Hamilton, the first yellow card of the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening cross was issued by the referee. Indy 11 represented to Jordan Hamilton.
Looks a painful one for Mushagalusa, as he's seen to by trainer Isaac Gomez.
Yeah, caught the left shin, I think, and that looks extremely painful. Just a clumsy challenge by Hamilton.
Left shin, and I think right ankle as well.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Almost got both of them.
Yeah.
But probably the right ankle is the worst of the two.
It came through the shin and into the ankle. And, well, they call that a striker's tackle, I believe. Hamilton bursting back, and he's already apologized a few times to Mushagalusa.
Yeah, a clumsy striker's challenge, but the coach would be very happy that he worked his tail to get back to make that challenge, but a little bit dangerous, and he did get a fair enough yellow card for that.
I think he knew right away when he missed the ball there, Hamilton, that he would find himself in the referee's pocketbook.
So it looks like Indy is getting ready to bring on Wild, as I said, but also it looks like Timmer might be coming into the lineup too. So it'd be interesting to see what they do to move the lineup around, whether they're going to change formation or whether it's same for same.
Dia. His cross deflected away by Cochran before it gets to the penalty spot. Now a foul called against the left back. was the one caught out for the Indy 11 goal, Dia, and he's trying to get forward and make amends. Decent burst down the left from Amadou Dia. Of course, a wonderful USL Championship career. Amadou Dia, his time with Phoenix Rising and their record 20 straight wins. And here are the two substitutions for Indy 11. They've already equalized in the second half, and on the hour mark, Max Rogers going to make two changes as Gordon Wilds will replace Peter Lee Vassell. And Jared Timmer comes in for Jeremiah Gutjahr.
And those could be two straight swaps because Timmer has played in that number 6 position. Looks like that's where he's going to sit in there and play that 6.
And indeed, Wild popping out to the left-hand side temporarily. But he's had two pretty good games against Sporting KC2. Gordon Wild, the number 10 for Indy 11. And he's got a half hour to make a difference in this one. As Van de Venter, I think he was trying to get that into Harris, but it winds up with Mushagalusa in behind for Harris. And Harris can't keep it in play, just trickling over the end line.
Yeah, just ran away from Harris's good penetrating pass at a good angle, but just, again, we've said this a few times today, just a little bit too much on the ball. It's just run out.
Here's another look at that break for SKC2. Numbers streaking forward. And now two subs going to be made by Paulo Nagamura as Jake Davis. And, well, he casts a water bottle down in frustration. Davis, he's the type of player that doesn't want to come off the pitch. He's replaced by Ozzy Cisneros, and Enoch Mushagalusa replaced by Roger Smith. '17-year-old Ozzy Cisneros, and there's Roger Smith as Mushagalusa and Davis head to the bench. Of course, 5 substitutes over 3 windows are allowed. On a hot day like today, might very well see all of those substitutions come into play.
Yeah, it looks like all the subs we saw are basically like for like, so it doesn't look like anything formationally has changed.
Some fresh legs on the pitch with half an hour to go.
Like you said, on a day like this, fresh legs are probably needed, and yeah, you probably will see all 5. This is probably the biggest sub for me, is Gordon Wild. Come on, look at that for a ball.
How about that ball in behind? Hamilton one-on-one, and he misses just wide of the near post for Poolskamp. Hamilton can't believe it.
Yeah, that's one he's got to put away. I mean, that's a one-on-one with the keeper. Give Poolskamp credit for making himself big, but yeah, when you're going for the playoffs, you've just got to put that. I think he went the wrong side. Maybe, but then he is left-footed. Maybe he could have gone the other side of Poolskamp, because really that's a couple yards wide of the post.
Maybe better suited for the right-footed attempt there, Hamilton.
What a ball in. That was from Seacrest. Beautiful ball. Just bent into the run of Hamilton. Like I said, doesn't get much better than that.
Wild played a part as well. And this could be the wrinkle. We're seeing him come into these little pockets of space already, Wild.
Yeah, I was just saying, of the 4 subs, probably the most dangerous is Gordon Wild. The guy's got great vision. He's got beautiful left foot, even though he scored the winner last time with his right. And he's just a game changer.
His 4 assists lead the team, Gordon Wild. Cisneros, 17-year-old, wants to make an impact himself, and he's trying to split the defenders there. Barber is going to clatter into Hackshaw.
It's just good defending by,
And
Barber.
the two exchanging words, and Barber didn't like what Hackshaw had to say. Just a little chuck of the ball. And that will be a yellow card for Grayson Barber.
Yeah, no need for that. Good defending by Hackshaw, because the pass wasn't quite there. He just stepped across the line and defended it. And Grayson didn't like it. Probably Actual said, you know, get off my back, and I think he was laughing a little bit, but it's a silly yellow card, you know.
So one player for each team now on a yellow card. It's two just becoming friends, I think.
He's not backing off from it, Barber, is he? He says, yeah, you can say what you like, but I'm not backing off. But he's got to be careful, though, hasn't he? He's got to be careful.
Shaw just having a glance over at the fourth official as well. So keep an eye on that matchup as we progress on in this match. Hamilton just using the experience to ease Van de Venter off the ball, and then using his powerful frame against Cisneros. We met down the right side for Moon. He drops it for Law. Moon. And whipped into the back post. Siegrist heads it down. And that was inches away from the outstretched boot of Hamilton.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball in, I think, from Timmer. And a great header by Siegrist. And it was not far off from Hamilton touching that ball with the inside of the foot into the back of the net. A great decision to head that ball across the face of the goal. And here comes that pressure again from Indy.
Wild applying the pressure on the goal kick, and Pulskamp just scooped it over the number 10, but that pressure pays off for Indy. They're trying and starting to move just a bit higher up the pitch now.
Yeah, it's normally, like I said before, normally that's what they do right from the start of the game. And they're starting to do it in this second half, and it's causing problems.
Smith invites Dia into the attack. Dia turned around by Ouimet. Now Dia creates space, but floats it over the heads of everybody. And this is going to stay in play. Or won't it? Siegrist just allows it to trickle out. Thought Pierre might get there. Whoa, what a move. Wild, he's around two defenders. Caden Pierre trying to chase Gordon Wild. Now 1v1, edge of the box. Wild crosses it to the back post. It's over the head of Hamilton. He'll go and retrieve and drop it for Timmer. Timmer, that is wonderful into the path of Moon. Pops it up for Wild. Somehow it stays out. Still alive, and Hamilton can't put it towards frame. A couple of chances for Indy 11, and they can't put it into the back of the net.
Please explain to me how that is not in the back of the net. First of all, earlier on the clash from Wild, and that's a beautiful ball in. And he's got to be thinking that's all the way. Oh, my lordy lord. Wow. Yeah, hands on head going, how the heck did that not go in? It did not miss by much. But going back, that all was started by the sheer class of Gordon Wild. He had two players coming in to hammer him. He flicks it with the outside of the foot, around both of them, goes and collects it, and that's how the offense started, and that's what that guy is capable of. He's a tremendous player with tremendous vision.
Siegrist is starting to get involved as well. Cisneros quickly in front of Wild to win it back for SKC2. Barber tracked by Kofi. That's a clever spin on the ball from Barber. Keep ball for SKC. Cisneros crashed into by Siegrist. And the offensive players wanted an advantage played. Instead, it's immediately a yellow card for Patrick Siegrist.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best decision by the referee there, because it landed at Barber's feet. Now, Barber did go around the player because they'd stopped.
Yep.
But there's an opportunity. I would let this run, knowing that I'm going to come back and that's going to be a yellow card, but he's right on the back line.
2v3 there in the center of the pitch, right on the edge of the 18.
Exactly, one cut and one strike, and they're back in the lead. And then you can always come back and give the yellow card later. So I think Siegrist will be glad that he took that yellow card, because he may have stopped Sporting Kansas City 2 from going 2-1 ahead.
Yeah, and you rightly mentioned it. The reason Barber went through is that players stopped, but both Harris and Barber, with their arms up, thought they might have been able to cause something. Instead, they'll have a free kick. Cisneros drops it in towards the edge of the 6. Two hands on the punch from far.
The shame for Barber there is he's not had that opportunity. He's been waiting all game for that opportunity. It comes up where he's basically one-on-one in front of goal, and referee blows the whistle. So no wonder he held his hands up in the air going, I'm going through here, I'm going to score a goal, and you just blew the whistle and stopped me. So yeah, disappointing for him.
Foul called on Wilson Harris, and Indy 11 back with the ball. Just over 20 minutes remaining plus added time in this match. SKC 2 had the lead at halftime, a 40th minute goal from Wilson Harris. Just after we restarted play in the second half, Jordan Hamilton leveled the score for Indy 11. Indy have been good on the road this season, as we mentioned, but they have dropped their last 2 road matches, 6-2 at Atlanta and 4-1 at Loudoun. They've conceded 10 goals in their last 2 on the road. Cisneros finds Smith, 1v1. Smith, well, you can see what he's trying to do, just didn't quite get a hold of it.
Yeah, he didn't get anything on it, and that's a one-on-one opportunity that he could run at him a little bit with a little bit more pace, I think. Cut it and strike it. He didn't really do it with any conviction and did not get a hold of it, so easy save for Farr there.
Cisneros is starting to get involved a bit since coming on as a sub 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he just stole the ball from Wild at the top of the box, which I was just talking about Wild's vision. Then all of a sudden, Ozzy comes in and steals it, and then he did that nice little move down there where he got the foul, but it got it through to Grayson. But yeah, he's starting to come in, and with more games, you're just gonna see more from him. He's got talent, he just needs time.
Cisneros, the 17-year-old who did score his first goal for SKC2 against Louisville a few weeks back, and he made his first team debut for Sporting KC against Leon. And Cisneros just starting to grind the gears into professional life as a soccer player. Making his 10th appearance of the season for SKC2 this afternoon. Farr, that's straight down the middle of the pitch, and Hamilton was in space. Smith comes over and knocks him to the ground, legally so, said the ref.
That might have been the first punt we've seen in the game from a goalkeeper. Everything's been rolled out of the back, I think. And like you said, we've seen him play a long ball to Hamilton, and then that punt to Hamilton. That's twice he's gone long, and Hamilton's almost got through, which is a little scary for the back 4 of Sporting Kansas City 2.
Just found a nice space in between the 2 center backs there, and credit to Farr, the low trajectory on that delivery. Well, now they're trying to play out of the back. SKC2, and Duke is closed down. It's a corner for Indy 11.
Again, that's that risk and reward we talk about. The reward is if you do get out, you get numbers forward, but the risk is you get caught in the ball, and we've seen that so far has been the downfall in the second half, and they did not want it to happen again, but we've got a corner kick here.
Subs coming for both teams. 2 onto the pitch now for Indy 11. As Abubakar Sissoko replaces Gershon Kofi. Just a few days shy of his 30th birthday. Kofi heads to the bench, replaced by the 25-year-old Sissoko, and Manuel Arteaga comes into the match as well, replacing Jordan Hamilton up top. For SKC2, Jahan Rod will come onto the pitch and join his twin brother Kave as he replaces the youngster David Vandeventer. Pretty like for like there for SKC2.
Yep, again like for like, and now Indy 11 has brought on the next major player, which is Arteaga. So you've got Arteaga and Wild on. Those 2 can change a game.
Wild whips in the service. It's good service. Climbing all over the back was we met, and the referee calls a foul.
We've got someone lying down there, I think. Not sure who that is, but he's...
Hackshaw down, holding his right ankle, it appears. Take a look at what happens.
I'm wondering if when, I think Smith came down, he might have accidentally stood on his ankle. Smith had no idea he was he was behind him, but it looked like that might have been a possibility.
Might have just landed on the ankle. You see that a lot in basketball as well.
Yeah.
And Hackshaw being attended to by the training staff is allowing for a hydration break with just about a quarter of an hour to play.
This should be a very interesting last 15 minutes here, and because you got to be thinking India's got to be wanting 3 points here. So I think with the subs they've made, with Wild and Arteaga coming on, I think they're going to push heavy here and high press and try and get this winning goal. Sporting Kansas City 2, we'll see.
All to play for here in the final quarter of an hour. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You can hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Just a final break here to charge the batteries for everyone, get some fluids, cool down a bit in the shade. And the managers can have a word with their respective players as well as we head into these final 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how the teams are going to be, what the coaches are going to be thinking about coming out of this game. Yeah. I mean, Rogers, you got to be thinking, we got to take 3 points here. We're playing the eighth place team. We're in the playoff run. This has got to be a victory.
We saw Paulo Nagamura and his assistant Chris Martinez debating there, and Martinez goes, and it appears Jamil Roberts will be checking in soon. He's getting some last-second instructions from Martinez, so that's an attack-minded move from the home side as well.
And it could be, like you said, Nagamura sent a message bringing 8 players from Sporting Kansas City into it. He wants to win this game. He's fed up of losing. You know him, he's a really heavy competitor, and it's got to be grinding on him that they're not getting wins. So maybe we're going to see both teams really going for this last 15 minutes.
Hackshaw is on the pitch and appears to be okay, testing out that ankle. We're back underway from the hydration break, and Cochran called for the foul.
Well held up there by Harris, took the foul, and now you gain some yardage with numbers moving forward too.
Rod to Rod, back to Rod.
You've been waiting all game to say that. Yeah. Classic.
Here's Cave dribbling around a defender, and Harris can turn. Well, he's just tripped over the ball a bit there, and now Harris immediately pops to the ground, holding that left hamstring. Wilson Harris. And that's not a good sign for the 96.
That is a horrible sign, and he stood on the ball. And looks like he tweaked, I mean, it could be a groin, it could be a hamstring, but it looked like he said he grabbed his hamstring.
Yeah, tough to see. I mean, it was immediately after he stretched on that ball there. You see Harris, and never a good sign.
Yeah, he's throwing his arms up. As soon as he did that, you could see it's like, oh no, because that's going to be a few weeks.
Hopefully it's not as bad as it appears.
He just took an awkward step because when he got the ball and he turned, he was looking for the split, and there was no gap to get through, so he took that extra touch, and it looked like he stood on the ball and just took like a false movement. And that's all it takes, is one little movement like that, and your whole body's going one way, and then that hamstring just pulls a little bit. It is not a good feeling, believe me. Been there, done that. And the worst thing about it, I mean, it doesn't feel good, but I can guarantee you, as soon as it happened, straight in his mind, he's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be out for a few weeks here. And that's probably the most annoying thing about it, not the pain.
He's just managed to work himself into a few MLS games throughout the summer, Wilson Harris. On loan from Sporting KC, scored his second goal. He's scored in his last 2 matches for SKC2. And you wonder if this was going to be the sub all along, but nevertheless the injury prompts Jamil Roberts entering the game for Wilson Harris.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. If it was, 30 seconds earlier, and this doesn't happen. So he's looking for the split there, and it wasn't on, so then he changed his mind, and it was, yeah, it wasn't the last stretch, it was the little bit before, and that's a horrible sight to see.
So on comes Roberts. That's the last sub SKC2 can use. They've made 4, but that was their 3rd and final window to make a change. And so Jamil Roberts checks into the match. And this is an interesting one, Doug, because there's not really an out-and-out forward now on the pitch for SKC2.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Well, Roberts, thinking otherwise, makes a run down the center of the pitch, and he's just offside.
And that makes me think that maybe Barber was the one who was going to be coming off, because you want that big target guy that the runners can feed off of. So maybe it was Barber that was going to come off, but obviously with their injury, it's he's changed his mind.
Jamil Roberts, 23-year-old in his rookie season as a pro. This is over the head of Rod and into the path of Arteaga. Segrist bombing down the left. Another good service from to Timmer. Now Arteaga cuts it around Rod. Timmer drops it to Hackshaw on the near side.
Yeah, you said it earlier, that the tempo of Indy 11 is just different in this half. It's way more intensive than it was in the first half. That's a worrying sight for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Approaching the final 9 minutes plus stoppage time. We've had a few injuries here in the second half, so we might see a few minutes added on. Roger Smith has his hand up on the near side. Jamil Roberts powers his way towards the touchline. Headed by Segrist. Picked up by Law. Hackshaw under pressure. And that's a shove in the back from Arteaga. And Arteaga will help Kave Rod up from that collision as the next substitution comes into the match. Ayoze on for Segrist. That'll be the 5th and final substitution for the visitors.
Yeah, Segrist not very happy to come off. He's had a very, very good game. Put some beautiful crosses in the box, especially that last one. But I think it's just a case of fresh legs. I think with Ayoze coming on, he's played that wing-back position before. Just fresh legs for this last 10 minutes to go and try and get all 3 points.
And we saw a lot from Segrist, especially in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. You wonder if those gaps now will be exploited by the 35-year-old Ayoze. Smith slowing things down, surveying the pitch, drops it back with Rod. Clever look one way, pass it the other from the center back. And now Dia. Trying to create room for a cross. It's blocked by Moon, but a corner to come for SKC2.
Yeah, good defending there by Moon. Stayed on his feet, patient, blocked it. Good attempt there by Dia to get past him. Nice little step over, pushed it by him, but like I said, good defending. Here's an opportunity. Looks like they might take a quick short one, but he says no. Maybe this might be a good time for Graham Smith to get on this and get his first goal for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Whipped in. Smith is in and around, and it's off. Indy 11, another corner. This one taken short. Pierre's there. Oh, Smith, excuse me. He whips it in. Cisneros will amble over. No pressure on the youngster as he picks it up, drives forward. SKC2 still a bit unorganized from the corner. As Graham Smith is still up on the edge of the penalty area. 1-2 from Barber. Puts it through the legs. This pops to Smith on the slide. Well, he was looking for that first goal. This one blocked by Hackshaw. On the scramble, Rod is able to get there ahead of Wilds.
And that is a smart decision there by Postcamp, and that's a little bit of what I've been saying. In past, he may have controlled that and looked to play the fullback, but when you get pressure from Arteaga that close to goal, sometimes you just got to go long, and that was a good decision by Postcamp.
Right around 5 minutes of normal time left in this one. Someone pop up and find a winner. Indy 11 trying to maintain their grip in the playoff race. SKC2 trying to snap a 6-match winless streak, 5 losses on the trot for SKC2.
Good ball movement here by Indy 11.
That was a slip from Roberts, and just allowed Moon to get back in and allowed Indy 11 to get back on the ball.
So Sporting Kansas City 2 sitting in a low block here. They've got to keep it tight. Do not allow Indy 11 to penetrate and get turned at that back 4. So a lot of work needed here. Good, they penetrated a little bit there, but Sporting Kansas City 2 forced them back out. Constant work here on defense.
Timmer over the top for Ioze, and the flag goes up on the far side. There's that defensive organization paying off for SKC2. Foot race on the far side. Moon and Dia. And Moon cuts inside. Dia fouls.
Yeah, I think Dia just helped Moon out there because...
And what a play that is from Moon to restart quickly. Wilds cutting infield. Oh, he just managed to keep it, but the momentum had gone from the attack for Indy 11. Just for a split second there, you thought that heads-up play from Moon might be causing some problems.
Yeah, they just got stopped. So good defending there by Sporting Kansas City to keep them keep basically in front of the ball and force them to go back. But yeah, you're right. I thought that could have been a big problem.
Well, SKC2, this is just the 6th match this season where they were tied at the 75-minute mark. They haven't won any of their previous 5, SKC2. Can we have some late drama here at Children's Mercy Park?
Well, I think they've got to be careful. One, I'd be careful coming out of the back. Do not be afraid to go long. This is this risk-reward we're talking about right now. You get caught there and you lose in the last 3 minutes of game, and you only got yourself to blame, so you got to be careful there.
Pierre did really well under pressure. Straight to Smith. And now Rod with the first-time touch into Barber, and they have broken the press here, SKC2. Barber trying to run at Cochran, and that's an excellent tackle from the center half.
Yeah, I thought maybe Barber could get that ball out to Roberts a little earlier, because Roberts was out there on an island against Wemett, I think. And that's a yellow card.
Amadou Dia.
Dia.
Ian Moon have been in the wars on that side of the pitch here in the second half. Dia didn't like the call, but he's the latest to go into the book.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
Well, certainly a foul, but...
Yeah, not so sure if it was a yellow,
yeah.
but...
In the end?
Maybe it's an accumulation of fouls, perhaps, but
Was
I
the
don't remember.
third or fourth?
Was it, you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rear view mirror for Amadou Dia.
Right, so in the last few minutes here, here's what I would ask the Sporting Kansas City 2 defense. Safety first.
Over the top in a misread play. Arteaga, that's tipped onto the post. Poolscamp pulls one out of the top drawer. What a save. That was sizzling strike from Manuel Arteaga.
I want to see if that's going in, but that is a strong left hand by Poolscamp, and he may have saved the day again. But that ball should not be going over the top with one ball straight through.
Excellent slow-mo look.
Looks like it was on target.
I think so. Tipped onto the post by Polskamp. Now from the corner, Polskamp gets a hand to it. Once again, Polskamp saves for SKC2, and then a smart play from Smith to head it back. That was another chance from Indy 11, headed down on the corner, and Polskamp just getting a hand to it.
He almost headed it too far down, but he headed it so far down it bounced over Smith's head. And then a really smart play by Smith in the second play just to head it back to the keeper. Maybe a bit risky, but he knew what he was doing and he got away with it, so well done.
Well, you're right, that is some header to pop over the 6'4" frame of Smith, and he can leap as well, Graham Smith. Just eluded the center back there, and it might have just been creeping into goal, Doug, there, if Polskamp didn't get a hand to it.
I think you might be right.
Just expected to contact and then shit himself.
Well, you hear Max Rogers is not at all happy with that foul call as we move into 4 minimum minutes added on stoppage time at the end of this match.
Yeah, and going by my ears, it sounds like Max Rogers is a Scotsman, by the sounds of it. I did not know that before, but yeah, he wasn't too happy there with the foul called.
Now Paulo Nagamura, you could see, waving his team to come lock it in the corner, trying to wrestle it away from Indy 11.
Yeah, turnover here would be great for Sporting Kansas City 2, but if Indy gets out, it's going to leave an opportunity to attack the other side of the field. But
it's a long way to go. Dia took a risk to head it, and he's out of position now. It's popped in behind. That's a lovely ball into the path of Moon. Moon gets his eyes up, puts it into the box. It's past Arteaga. Law will pick it up. 1-2, Law, first time cross, and it's just over the head of Wild, out of play.
Not a bad ball in, but how about the ball from Jared Timmer? Absolutely tremendous. First time ball straight into the space. And this is a good little ball in there just over the head of Gordon Wild going up against Graham Smith. That's a slight disadvantage in height there.
5'10" Gordon Wild, 6'4" Graham Smith. Smith just easing off the forward as he tried to get on the end of that cross.
Not sure if Moon's lying on the floor because he was fouled or he's just tired, because he's covered some miles today and he's had a good solid game.
Wouldn't want to be a wing back in this heat. But Moon's been bombing up and down that right flank all afternoon long. And it might be a long throw to come. Referee pointing to his stopwatch, just indicating that these seconds will be added back on. So it's a minimum of 4 and expected to go over the 4.
Yeah, I don't know if Indy 11's a team that wants to, like, run the clock down. I think they're wanting to get a goal here.
Yeah, interesting. It took a while to get that long throw away. Cleared by SKC2.
It might have just been the case that Moon was so tired it took him so long to get there.
Hackshaw, too heavy.
Yeah, it's a great run. Great idea with the ball, but you're right, just a little bit too much pace on it, and that was not an easy ball to play in either.
And Hackshaw comes up limping after that play. We saw him go down around the water break 15 minutes ago or so. This is a good ball into the feet of Wild, who turns away from Rod, tries to find Arteaga, and on the stretch, the forward can't bring it into his control.
You do, as Sporting Kansas City 2, does not want to see that happen in the last couple minutes where Wild's got the ball running at you and you got Arteaga going across the line. So, again, they got away with one there.
Now can SKC2 create an attack? Smith with Pierre to his right, dumps it to the fullback. Pierre, first time cross, straight into the midriff of far.
Wasn't as good as his first half ball, was it? But still wasn't a bad one, just a little bit too close to the keeper.
Law for Arteaga. And now looking over the top, Smith on the stretch, just got a toe to it. Wild is in behind. There are players up in attack with him. Wild squares it. Surely the winner, Smith! Oh, what a save that is from Graham Smith! The last act of the match!
Oh my Lord!
And Smith celebrates with Polskamp. Well, that's worth a goal from Graham Smith. He clears it off the line twice on the final kick of the ball. Full time in Kansas City. The points split between SKC2 and Indy 11, 1-1. What a remarkable finish, Doug McClagan.
Well, I'm thinking Timmer made the right decision because he slowed down to make sure he was going to score. Instead of just taking it first time, he took down, placed it in the spot. He thought, but Graham Smith, how the heck did he block that? That is classic.
What an intervention from Graham Smith. Let's have another look at the last play of the match.
What a great ball in, and then Wild just takes his time. He knows it's going to happen. So instead of playing it early, he just cuts it back to the wide open mate. He's right, okay, pass it in. Oh my gosh.
Off the chest, off the post, a slide tackle to finish things off, and he had just picked himself up from the ground, Graham Smith, to run back on the line.
And guess who's there to pick up the rebound to make sure he doesn't get it back to Timmer? No other than Christian Duke, who again has covered some miles today too. That is an unbelievable finish to a very good game. Oh dear.
Well, usually the late drama involves a goal. This time it involves some heroic defending. Graham Smith, and you see what it means to Pulskamp and the rest of his teammates. A cheeky smile from Graham Smith. He knew that was not a battle he should win.
Sometimes you just need a lot of luck, that's all.
SKC2 have Graham Smith to thank at the end of the match. Full-time score 1-1 as the two teams split a point apiece. We'll be right back to break down a wild finish in Kansas City. Full-time in Kansas City. Sporting KC2 and Indy 11 split a point apiece as it finished 1-1 at Children's Mercy Park. There's former SKC player Eric Dick having a chat with opposite goalkeeper John Pulskamp and defender turned goalkeeper at the end of the match, Graham Smith. His former teammates with, well, just an incredible play. Have you ever seen an ending to a match like this, Doug McClagan?
I'm not sure if I have, actually. What a great ball from Law. Wild does everything right. Timmer could have put it in first time, but he thought, no, I'm going to make sure I get it in. Well, guess what? He did make sure. And then at the end, Smith catches it with his chest, and Christian Duke's there to get the rebound to clear it.
Great spot as well. Duke just got a toe in there to help Smith with the clearance at the last second. Incredible end to this match, and surely Indy 11 will be in the locker room wondering how they didn't get a last gas winner. It was Graham Smith, the man on the line. He was dead to rights there, and he just managed to rescue a point for SKC2. Here are the final stats after a wild and wacky ending at Children's Mercy Park.
Indy 11's going to be disappointed. 50% possession, that's great, but look at the shots. 16-6, and only 5 of those 16 were on target. And one of them was stopped by Graham Smith, that's all I know.
Really came to life in the second half, Indy 11, but couldn't make those shots pay. In the end, full time in Kansas City, and a draw between SKC2 and Indy 11. Thanks for watching this Sunday afternoon. What an incredible way to end the match. SKC2 got out to a good start with the halftime lead. Katie Pierre into Wilson Harris in the 40th minute. Indy 11 equalized through a second half mistake. Jordan Hamilton with the goal for the visitors. For Doug McClagan and the rest of our fantastic crew in Kansas City, I'm Carter Augustine. Thanks for watching. Full-time score, Sporting KC 2-1, Indy 11 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.